From coffee to shampoo to hand sanitizer, First Stop Shop is your one-stop, conveniently located at the nearest Delta Petroleum gas station.
Delta Petroleum, serving the Caribbean.
Thank God it's Friday. It is the 26th of April. Good morning. This is THG News Today with Mervyn Hanley. And if this is your first time here, please, before you leave, subscribe to our YouTube's channel. Thank you for that. Now, let's get started with the news that is brought to you by Carl & Sons on St. Martin with 2 locations on the island. That will be in Colbay and on the Punfill. And Delta Petroleum also feases on Nevis. So it's Friday. We'll keep it light. So let's get to the news. Next week, Friday, we will have the person I'm about to talk about. We'll have her in an interview next Friday right here on THG News, THG Network. It's official. Not really a surprise, but Natasha Shanny Grey-Brookes of East Bastia St. Kitts, she has thrown her hat into the ring in the race to become the next political leader of the People's Action Movement. Shanny, as she is affectionately known or called, love and breathe the People's Action Movement. She loves and breathes the country, the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. She has been a member of the People's Action Movement for about 20 years, according to a statement, having been a delegate for the East Bastia constituency since 2000. That's the year 2000. Her involvement in the party since a youth stems back to the 1980s and 90s, when, as a child, she would accompany her grandmother to many party functions within the different constituencies, party headquarters, and attending political meetings. And although yet a child, she can recall sitting in the square with her grandmother while she was an outdoor agent for the party. And she took her involvement seriously when she became an indoor agent in 2000. Talk about just taking the necessary steps straight up the ladder. And here she is today. She is currently the deputy political leader of the People's Action Movement. And then she went on to become the candidate in 2022 for the People's Action Movement. And now, here it is that Natasha Shanny Grey, she has a story to tell. She became pregnant in her teen years and got herself her way through school and all of that. And then there was college. Today, she's a very successful attorney in St. Kitts and Nevis. And now she is putting her hat in the ring to become party leader. And that is something that we'll see go down on the beginning of June. I believe it's June 2nd or somewhere around there. It's the caucus for the People's Action Movement. As someone mentioned it to me yesterday, that people like Natasha Shanny Grey-Brookes, they're ones who the nation needs. You know, someone like Natasha. People who are Obama-like in understanding the real struggles of ordinary people and who embrace their truth and life stories. People who are motivated to elevate the lower class because they know where they were. And of course, the true power of a nation lies in the lower and the middle class. And so all on social media, folks are engaging, talking about Natasha Shanny Grey. The commentators on the talk radios, they're talking about Natasha Shanny Grey-Brookes. So she is what we call probably the front runner, if one can be objective. But, you know, it's not the country who will be voting for the next PAM's leader. And we need to understand that, right? It will be the PAM delegates. Okay? A number of them from each constituency, from 1 to 8, they'll decide who the PAM leader is. And so I'm sure they've seen what everybody's writing. They've seen what everybody's talking about on radio. So I believe they have an idea of where people want the country to go. Or the party, you know, people are saying, let it be Natasha Shanny Grey-Brookes, because she is the one they're confident in. She is the one they believe can push the party and the country forward. She is the one they believe can bring people together. She is the one they believe can bring people from the other side into the party. She is the one who the people gravitate to. And from especially a story like hers, you can't take that away. humble beginnings. Humble beginnings. And the majority of people on St. Kitts, they can relate to her story. They can't relate to people who have it or who have made it. And that's okay. This is nothing wrong with people who have made it, mind you. I'm just saying that they can relate to the story of Natasha Shanny Grey-Brookes. So the leadership of PAM is critical, and the election of a leader will decide if the People's Action Movement survives or it will be buried for a very long time. So we will soon find out from folks. We'll soon find out who are willing to put country above self, country above party, country above entitlement. But we'll soon find out. Let's move on with our news. Congratulations to Natasha Shanny Grey on this move. And I believe that next week, Friday, we will have an interview, a discussion with the candidate herself for the People's Action Movement leadership. That's Natasha Shanny Grey-Brookes. Now we turn to Trinidad, where Mia Mottley addressed the crowd speaking about that women's cricket deserves equal status. Addressing day one of the CARICOM Regional Cricket Conference at the Hyatt Regency, Port of Spain, under the banner Reinvigorating West Indies Cricket, Barbados Prime Minister Mia Mottley made a clarion call for women's cricket to be elevated in all regards. Harkening back to her youth, Prime Minister Matley reminisced on her early association with the game, which was nurtured by her own experiences and interactions with West Indies and Barbados legend Charlie Griffith. Sometimes I would come outside in our house and he would be playing with other people. And to me, that was an amazing opportunity at 6 or 7 years old to see a giant of a man with whom you would touch and play and relate, she said. As a young kid outside of Kensington, standing by the Pillars Pavilion, waiting for Sir Andy Roberts and Joel Garner and Michael Holding, Malcolm Marshall, Desmond Haynes and Gordon Greenwich. They probably wouldn't even have known because I was just another little girl asking for an autograph, the Prime Minister stated. These experiences, she said, epitomize what West Indies cricket means to each and every boy and girl in the region. Motley said it shaped her identity to be able to consider herself a trustee of the legacy of a country which has defined itself more clearly through the game of cricket. Among her proposals to help elevate women's cricket was a mixed gender game and an ecosystem cultivated and developed to include opportunities for participation in cricket, which is a team sport that has brought the region the most recognition internationally. We have an obligation to be able to level the field by the investments that we have to make in this sport, recognizing that not all may make the team, but all can participate at different levels to make a living. She added, whether it is in exporting persons to help in coaching across the world, whether it is through the ability to have as many of our youngsters play, whether it is in the creation of world-class umpires, whether it is people who are in business of keeping the field and the pitches in good form. Whatever it is, we must plan now the careful investment that will allow us to see this as a viable, productive, and economic sector, while at the same time having the luxury of being the love of our life. So that's Prime Minister Mia Mottley making a clear statement, a stern one, that women's cricket deserves equal status. So let us see how far that reaches, and I agree with her. A matter of fact, I see more countries now, they're taking this up as far as being a popular sport in some of the islands. So that's a good start heading into that direction that Prime Minister Matley spoke about. And finally, in our news this morning, in Antigua and Barbuda's Fishery Division has issued a stern warning to seafood enthusiasts and stakeholders as the close season for Caribbean spiny lobster approaches. The season spanning from May 1st to June 30th is notably shorter than the recommended 4-month closure advised by the Western Central Atlantic Fishery Commission. According to regional agreements such as the OECS Model Harmonized Fisheries legislation and the St. George's Declaration on spiny lobster, the closed season is vital for conservation as it coincides with the lobster's peak spawning period. It is illegal for a person to fish for, take, place for sale, purchase, or possess any Caribbean spiny lobster during the closed season, emphasized Ian Hosford, the Chief Fisheries Officer of Antigua and Barbuda, and according to Antigua Newsroom. This regulation extends to all sectors, including hotels, street vendors, and restaurants, who are urged to deplete their lobster inventory before the season commences. To ensure compliance, the Fisheries Division in Antigua and the Coast Guard have provided contact information for reporting violations. Individuals can reach the Fisheries Department. This is in Antigua, but I am sure this is also for other Caribbean countries. The contact number for Antigua, it's of course, you know, the area code 268, and that's 462-1372. That's 462-1372 or 462-6100. Yeah, I think that is it. Yes, but definitely the 462-1372. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, that's our news for today. Friday, thank God it's Friday. We get to relax on the weekend. We'll be back with you on Monday. I did say we're off on Monday because it's a holiday, but I think I was thinking more of St. Martin. But Monday is not a holiday for us. That's the other Monday. So please be guided on that. So we will be back with you on Monday morning, God's willing, at 6 o'clock Atlantic Standard Time for a similar presentation. Remember, if you have not already, to please subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you can be kept abreast on what's happening around the Caribbean and in the diaspora for some parts. And enjoy your weekend. Stay safe and be blessed. I am Mervyn Henley, reporting for THG News today. Sons have been serving the people of St. Martin for over 40 years. And the food and service get better and better. From early morning, customers flock to the bakery for their favorite sandwiches, cakes, pastries, you name it. First thing at mornings and last thing at afternoons, folks rush to Carl & Sons for simply the best. There are two locations, Coal Bay and on the Punfill. In Coal Bay, the opening hours are Monday to Friday from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. On Saturdays, 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. And on Sundays, 6:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. and 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Opening hours on the Punfill, Monday to Friday, 6:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. Saturday and Sunday, 6:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. We also cater for weddings, parties, special events, whatever the occasion. It's Carl & Sons. Our staff, we are always happy to serve you. Call us today, the Coal Bay location, 721-544-2462. That's 721-544-2462. Or in Phillipsburg, 721-543-1059. That's 721-543-1059. It's Carl & Sons Bakery. We are here to serve you. Nevis, satisfy your sweet tooth at Fisheries, the cozy spot in Charlestown, known for its mouth-watering ice cream and dal parade. We are open Monday to Saturday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Come in and sample our patties, sandwiches, air-fried wings with fries, hot dogs, rotis, and now our famous smoothies, in all flavors of course. And don't forget to try the famous bus-up shut and saltfish. It's Fisheries, located at the entrance to the Cotton Jewelry Mall in Charlestown, Nevis. They're also available by phone, so place your order by calling 1-869-665-2458. Don't ask about the rest, just try the best.